Trump White House drama. Republicans called stupid. Inside story. The doors close inside the White House. Voices drop. Then suddenly, one word cuts through the room like a knife. Stupid. It's not said on television. It's not in a press briefing. It happens behind closed doors, in the middle of strategy talks that are supposed to hold a political party together. But instead, they expose something deeper: frustration, power struggles, and a White House that is far more divided than it appears. How does a moment like this even happen at the highest level of American politics? And what does it reveal about leadership, loyalty, and control? And in the next few minutes, you'll find out exactly why. The story begins during a tense period in Washington. The administration is under pressure from multiple directions. Media scrutiny is intense. Allies are uncertain. Opponents are energized. Inside the White House, senior officials are trying to push forward a legislative agenda while also managing constant political battles. At the center of it all is Donald Trump, a president known for breaking political norms. His communication style is direct, often blunt, and sometimes unpredictable. Supporters see it as honesty. Critics call it reckless. But inside the White House, that style creates a unique environment, one where loyalty is prized but disagreement is unavoidable. Republican lawmakers, many of whom are trying to defend the administration publicly, are also dealing with their own challenges. They face pressure from voters, from the media, and from within their own party. Some are fully aligned with the president. Others are more cautious, and a few quietly disagree with key decisions. This is where the tension begins to build. At first, the disagreements are subtle. Small comments, side conversations, hesitation during meetings. But then everything changed. A series of legislative setbacks starts to frustrate the administration. Key bills stall. Negotiations break down. Messaging becomes inconsistent. What should be coordinated efforts begin to look scattered. Behind closed doors, meetings grow more intense. Advisors present strategies, lawmakers raise concerns, and the president listens, but not always patiently. What happened next shocks many inside the room. During one particularly heated discussion, frustration reaches a boiling point. The topic is strategy: how to move forward, how to maintain support, how to avoid further setbacks. Some Republican lawmakers push back. They question the approach. They suggest alternatives. But instead of calm debate, the response is sharp. The word stupid is reportedly used to describe certain actions or decisions, not in a public speech, not in a tweet, but in a private setting, directed at members of the same party. The room goes quiet. Moments like this are rare, but powerful. They reveal what is often hidden from the public, the reality that political unity is not always as strong as it appears. No one saw this coming. For some in the room, the comment is shocking. For others, it's not entirely surprising. The president's style has always been direct, but hearing it applied to allies changes the dynamic. Trust becomes a question. After the meeting, reactions vary. Some officials downplay the moment. They describe it as frustration, nothing more. Politics is intense, they say. Emotions run high. Words get said. Others are less comfortable. They worry about the impact, not just internally, but externally. If such divisions become public, it could weaken the party's position. And that's exactly what begins to happen. Reports start to emerge. Anonymous sources describe tense meetings. They hint at disagreements. They suggest that all is not well behind the scenes. The media picks up the story. Suddenly, what was once private becomes public discussion. Headlines focus on internal conflict. Analysts debate what it means. Is this normal political tension or something more serious? The pressure increases. Inside the White House, the response is controlled. Official statements emphasize unity. They highlight shared goals. They dismiss reports as exaggerated or taken out of context. But privately, the conversations continue. Some advisors argue that strong language can be effective. It can push people. It can force action. Others believe it creates division. It damages relationships that are already fragile. The stakes are high. Republican lawmakers now face a difficult position. They must balance loyalty to the president with their own political survival. Publicly, many continue to support the administration. Privately, some express concern. What happened next changes everything. As tensions grow, communication begins to break down. Meetings become shorter. Discussions become more cautious. People choose their words carefully. The energy shifts. Instead of open debate, there is hesitation. Instead of collaboration, there is calculation. Every statement is measured. Every reaction is analyzed. And at the center of it all is one question: what kind of leadership works in a moment like this? The climax arrives during a critical period. Another major decision is on the table. The administration needs support. The party needs unity. But the underlying tensions are still there. The meeting begins like many others. Advisors present options. Lawmakers share input. The discussion is serious, focused. But beneath the surface, the pressure is building. Then, a disagreement emerges. It starts small. A difference in strategy. A question about timing. But quickly it escalates. Voices rise. Arguments sharpen. This is the moment where everything is tested. Leadership, loyalty, trust. The president responds with intensity. He challenges the criticism. He defends his approach. He pushes back against what he sees as hesitation or weakness. For some in the room, it is a display of strength. For others, it is a moment of concern. The divide becomes clear. On one side, those who believe in a bold, aggressive approach. On the other, those who prefer caution, strategy, and long-term planning. Neither side is fully wrong, but neither side is fully aligned. And that is the problem. The meeting ends without full agreement. Decisions are made, but not everyone is convinced. The sense of unity is fragile. Outside the room, the world continues to watch. The media reports on internal struggles. Political opponents use the narrative to their advantage. Supporters try to defend the administration's approach. The story becomes bigger than one comment. It becomes a symbol of something deeper. The aftermath is complex. In the weeks that follow, the administration works to stabilize its message. Public appearances emphasize unity. Speeches focus on achievements. Efforts are made to rebuild confidence. But internally, the impact lingers. Relationships have been tested, trust has been challenged, and the memory of those moments remains. Some lawmakers become more cautious. They choose their battles carefully. Others double down on their support, seeing loyalty as the best strategy. The White House adapts. Communication becomes more structured. Meetings are more controlled. Messaging is more consistent. Lessons are learned, even if they are not publicly acknowledged. But the political environment does not slow down. New challenges emerge. New decisions must be made, and the same underlying dynamics continue to shape the process. What does this mean in the bigger picture? It reveals the reality of power. Leadership at the highest level is not just about public speeches. It is about private conversations, difficult decisions, and human emotions. It shows that even within the same party, there can be deep disagreements. It highlights the balance between strength and diplomacy, between directness and restraint. And it raises an important question. Is blunt honesty more effective than careful strategy, or does it risk creating divisions that are harder to repair? There is no simple answer. Different leaders take different approaches. Some prioritize unity above all. Others believe that challenge and conflict can lead to stronger outcomes. In this case, the results are mixed. The administration continues to function. Policies move forward. Support remains, though sometimes uneven. But the story leaves a lasting impression. It reminds us that politics is not just about policies and positions. It is about people, personalities, emotions, relationships, and those factors can shape outcomes just as much as any strategy. As time passes, the moment becomes part of a larger narrative. One example among many that define an administration. Some will see it as a sign of strong leadership. Others will see it as a warning about division. Both perspectives have merit, because the truth is often somewhere in between. In the end, the story is not just about one word or one meeting. It is about the environment in which that moment happened. An environment of pressure, expectation, and constant scrutiny. An environment where every decision matters, and where every word can have consequences. So what is the takeaway from all of this? Leadership is complicated, unity is fragile, and behind every public image, there is a private reality that is far more complex. What do you think? Does blunt leadership strengthen a team, or does it risk breaking it apart? If you want more untold stories like this, subscribe, because history is never what they teach you in school.